Hello guys, how are you? And happy new month. Like I said in my previous video, that we're going to look at the physics as a life, or what is physics? The physics of life. I could still recall that when I wanted to put physics as a course of study, many people were asking me, why did you choose physics as your first option? Why did you choose physics? Physics is hard, physics is difficult. Why not go for mechanical engineering, electrical electronics, and so on, blah, 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 and so on. But I do know that I have the conviction from God Almighty that this is the course that I wanted to study, despite the ups and downs on it. But within me, I feel satisfied. I've gathered so many knowledge. When we talk about physics, some look at it is only when you finish it, you have to be a teacher, and so on. That there is no job in physics. You have to be a scientist. You have to work in the laboratory. You have to do this and that, and so on. But physics is beyond that. Yes, physics is beyond that. We do know that one of the definitions that they gave us, they say physics is a branch of pure science that deals with the behavior of matter and energy and how it relates to other particles. That's some of the definitions. That's one of the definitions that we have on a physics. But that's what it is, and you discover that many people know the definition of that. The definition, this is the definition. In fact, they even cram it. They just study it as abstract something. But I want to use this opportunity to remind you that physics is beyond that. Yes, physics is beyond that. That's why I look at it as what physics as a what life. What is even life? In our biology or in our science, we say that one of the characteristics of a living thing is that they have life in them. That is one of the characteristics of what living thing, which means we talk about the physics of life, which means we are looking at the life aspect of what physics. Yes, what is this physics all about? From the definition I have here, I say physics is the scientific study of natural world around us. This is like one of the definitions of science. It is the scientific study of natural world around us, first focusing on the fundamental laws and principles that govern the behavior of energy, matter, and the universe as a whole. You can see that this also relates to the definition that I gave before that talks about it deals with the behavior and the behavior of matter and the energy and how it relates to other particles. So if physics is the scientific study of natural world around us, is human being have life? We live in an environment. We do things in the environment that we live. It's only a dead person that you talk about that is no longer living in this world. So as far you are living in this world, you discover that you are a physicist. You discover that you can't do without what physics. The natural world, can see that I can even put it in the way that God is a physicist. You want to argue? If he's the one that created the natural world that we reside in, or we dwell, or we live, it means he is a physicist by himself. Which means you can see that from the origin of physics is God. God is the origin of physics, and God is the author of life. And if God is the author of life, and we are looking at that life, the physics part of this life, which means physics is a department of life. And even Bible made it clear that Jesus was the light of the world. Amen. Here, I've already started preaching. But what are we saying? We said that physics is the study of natural world around us. You can see that you can't do without it. You are working in an organization, it's physics. You are doing business, you can see if you don't understand the technicality of the business you are doing, you will go bankruptcy. You even collapse the business. If you don't understand the technicality of the work or the place where you are working, if you don't know anything about it, it means that what? You are like a liability to such organization. So for us to survive, in this definition that talks about the natural world around us, we are looking at, focusing on the fundamental laws. Yes, focusing on the fundamental laws and principles that govern the behavior of energy. Good. You see that you can't do without energy. You eat food in order to get what? Energy. Yes. What are the principles that governs the acquisition of this energy? Let's take human being as an example. When you are hungry, what do? You eat food. When you eat food, what happens? The food digests, it breaks down into smaller particles that different parts of the body system will absorb it through the diffusion. At the end, energy is being what? Released. So you can see that the fundamental laws and principles that govern the behavior of energy. Let's say it's still talking about the human being, the human aspect. When we look at it, you can't bring food and put it in your nose. No. Or have you ever tried to eat food? You take the food and put it in your ears or your eyes. No. But what happened? You put the food in your mouth, which means one of the fundamental laws of eating or feeding is that what? Food will follow what? Through the mouth and enter into the system. So without food and following the due process, unless the person is sick or whatever, but if the person is normal, the fundamental law says that when you want to eat, in order to acquire the energy, you have to feed through your what? Mouth. When you are tired, what do? You have to do what? Rest. Sometimes sleep, so that you will regain what? The lost strength or the energy. What is this energy? The capability or the capacity or the ability to do work. That is this energy I'm talking about. You can see that the principle that governs the behavior, the principle that govern or the laws, fundamental laws that governs the behavior and your attitude towards the energy conservation in your life is inevitable. So we say that governs. Then we look at and matter, not only the energy and matter. You can, whether you believe it or not, as far you are existing on this planet Earth, you are a matter. How? Yes, because matter, according to the definition, is what? Anything that has mass and occupies what? A space. You occupy space. You are not even talking about the vacuum. You occupied what? A space. How? When you check your weight, whenever you check your weight is what? In kg. Kilogram is a unit of mass. So for you to have unit of mass, which is kilogram, it means that you are a matter. So the principle that governs this matter, what are some of those principles? I will still take it in the physics law, but we are looking at it in the area of all life ramification. The principle that governs the matter and the universe as a whole. Yes, we know that we sleep during the night. In the morning time, you wake up. These are some of the principles. We know that morning time is a time for work, and in the night is a time for what? For rest and sleep. These are some of the principles. We know that you have to bathe each day. That's one of the principles. We know that you have to eat for you to survive and live in this natural world. These are some of the principles. So what are we saying? We are still looking at the physics as a life, or physics of life. We are still on the introductory aspect of it. So you can see that you cannot do anything without what this physics knowledge. So now we say, how does it relate to life? How does this physics relate to life? How does it relate? There are many fundamental laws and principles of physics that we cannot do without, whether by omission, by intention, or by ignorance. These laws are there. Yes, these laws are there. Sun will surely come at its own time. I said at its own time, and go back at its own time. You can't change that. Rain will fall in its own season, drain the land in its own season. After its own season, it will still go. You can't change that. There will always be the day and there will always be the night. You can't change that. There are laws of conservation, universal gravitation, different laws which we're still going to look at how we can use this in order for us to survive on this planet Earth. I'm not trying to only teach you on the aspect of physics as a subject, but as a course of science, but I'm trying to teach you on the knowledge of physics, that this principle governs everything about your life. It governs your seriousness in the place of your, it governs your attitude, your relationship with people. It governs the way you do your things, your diligence. It governs how you handle situation and whatever that comes on your way. These are some of the things that we are going to look at. Some of these principles and the fundamentals. What is this fundamental principles is all about, or is all about? We know, or we are in which area can we apply some of these principles? We'll look at some of them that are universally applicable. Yes, some of them that are universally applicable. Yes, even if I try to push it to the area of spirituality in a way, even the Bible in Ecclesiastes talk about, it said there is time for everything under this planet Earth. Good. The same way, there is time for one to be born. There is a time for the parents to take care of him. There is a time for the person being breastfeeding. There's a time for the parents feeding the person. There's a time for the child, or let's say the person start feeding on his or her own. There's a time for parents to take care of them. There is a time for such a person to take care of himself. There is a time to be in school. There is also a time for one to live in school. Imagine at my age, I say I'm going back to nursery 1 or primary 1. You know, it looks somehow now strange. Why? Because this time, or at my age, is not the time of me to be in primary school, because I have passed that age, which means the principles and the fundamental laws of physics, you can't do away with it, because time matters there. We'll look at some of all these things when we look at the fundamental laws, some of these fundamental principles. Time is always there. You can't change time, but you have to work under the time. Whatever that you are trying to do, you have to work under what the time. There is a time to work. There's also a time to rest. There's a time to eat. There's a time to sleep. There's a time to do one thing. Sometimes you discover that when you don't do what you're supposed to do at that particular time, you may end up being disappointed in life. You see, some people may end up living a regrettable life. Why? Because the time for them to use to do a particular thing, they couldn't do it. And time waits for no one. I could still recall that some of the song when we are still growing up. There's a song that I don't even know the singer of the song, the name of the person that sang the song. That said, time na money, oh, time na money, do better thing. Yes, money no dey fall from heaven, do better thing, money go come. Na true way I dey tell you, oh. I could still recall that time we are saying, this I would, I like listening to that music. I could still recall that should be Radio Rivers too. By then, by then. That's when we used to hear that song at that particular time. Now you can see that time is still part of physics. You can't do without it. There is a time, even your diligence in your work is also part of what? Physics. Then the number 2, or the second application of this law, or where it exists, one of them is cannot be derived. The application, can you say, cannot be derived from other laws. There are those ones that are fundamentals. That's why I talk about the fundamental laws. These are laws that are in its own, independent of other law. They are in its own, in its original form. They are the basic laws that other laws are being derived or gotten from. Yes, for you can't be great in life when you are lazy. You can't be successful in life when others are working, you are sleeping. You can't be at the level where you're supposed to be in life when you are not doing. So one of the basic principles is that what? You have to work. You have to work. This is one of the, you have to be serious. Even in the work, the place you are working, you have to be diligent. You have to give your best as if there is no tomorrow. These are some of the things, some of the basic fundamental laws that you can't do. Then you can't do without. We look at some of the other application of it. We look at the having been extensively experimentally verified. Yes, it can be experimentally verified. Like I said, this one is not only all about in the laboratory. This one we are talking about work. The result of your work will place you in the higher level of life where you're supposed to be. It can be verified. What you are doing can be verified. A child that studies, it will show in its result. You cannot be a first class without preparation. You have to work for it. Sleepless nights. You have to be determined for you to reach that particular level of being a first class. So then we look at the proving a framework for understanding and predicting natural phenomenon. It's one of the aspects we are going to stop in this application of it. Yes, you know that even in a country, the country that is not prepared or prepared to take care of its youth will never move forward. In a family, the parents that refuse to train their children will end up grown up children that may kill him or her, or even cause him dying before his time. So these are some of the little introductory aspects of physics as life. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, YouTube channel, at Kelechi Udensi. Follow me on the Facebook, on the Instagram. Let's see how far we will go. Make sure that my counsel on this is, don't just watch this video for watching sake. Make sure that the things that you heard or learned through this video, you apply it in your life, in your study, in your career, in your business, and God will bless you. The next video is coming tomorrow by His grace. Okay, it's coming on Thursday. Today is first. The next video is coming tomorrow. We are going to look at some of those fundamental laws. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and make sure that your children also watch this channel, because it's going to help them even in the preparation for any exams they are going to write on physics. It's also going to prepare you, both you that is doing business. That's something like that saying, after I'm not a science student. In life, all of us are science students of life and destiny. God bless you. Remain blessed. See you the next day. Thanks very much. Bye.